We love interviewing interesting and inspirational Spearos and getting their perspective on how they began their personal journey into the lifestyle that we love. Let us fill your ear holes with why they enjoy spending time with fins on and a spear gun in hand.
Up next is a delightful conversation with a Spearo who treasures his time in the ocean and proudly feeding his family. A natural and creative content creator who showcases what the ocean has to offer. Our next quality podcast guest gives us his perspective on generational diving, gagging sharks, natural YouTube content creation, gathering, and his love for sharing his catch.
He details some dusky sound, Great Barrier, and Coromandel water adventures. A deeply passionate lino and Spearo whose desire to leave a documented story of ocean adventure for his future ancestors to come has led him to create his epic Salty Dogs channel. A very wholesome chat with a very quality human. So let's fill those ear holes with Spearo Diaries podcast, episode number 19, Kai Collector and Salty Dog, Huck's Ihaka Steel.
Right, so us mermaids, or as Laura's mum likes to call us, the Spear Maidens, we are here tonight in the North Shore of Auckland, New Zealand, at the home of the real man of mana, the ultimate Kai Collector and Salty Dog himself, Ihaka Steel. We have been lucky enough to be treated to some delicious fish tacos and coconut margaritas with you and your wife Georgia, and now we get to have some nice hearty yarns. Myself and Laura both encountered you a couple seasons back as a part of Spearfishing Fundamentals, but alas, we were in the Tuesday nights and I think you were in the Thursdays. So we didn't actually get to hang out or meet that much, but saw your videos and thought you're a pretty cool dude and kept an eye on what you're up to. So we learnt more about your adventures out on your boat George, which is a pretty cool boat. We went downstairs and had a look at it earlier and she's a beauty. You have got a really cool Instagram and a really cool YouTube account. If anyone wants to look it up, it's Salty Dogs NZ. And hopefully soon we get to go out on a team mission with you.
But yeah, thanks for having us in your home. We're really stoked and excited about locking you in for one of these podcasts. And welcome to Spearo Diaries.
Thanks for having me. Sorry.
I made a proper connection with you. We're going to laugh lots in this podcast, I can tell already. We've been laughing before recording.
Might be the margaritas. Thanks, George.
Could be the margaritas. I made a proper connection with you and Georgia when you guys took me out for my first time collecting scallops in September just gone, which was super special. You were a great Kai catch bag holder, and your lady showed me the ways of the murky waters and how to recognise the horseshoe bubbles, which was really cool. And I think I've already told you since, but I feel really grateful to not only have been taken to like a pretty special spot, but have such an amazing experience on a day that, to be honest, sounds like it was one of the calmest days you've had there. I mean, you guys were warning me about currents and talking through lots of things, and then once we got on the water it was sort of like, oh, okay, this is actually really chill. But apparently that's not always the case, and it was just a really, really cool special experience. I didn't think that I'd be getting scallops anytime soon. Since I started diving, I kind of just figured I'd never get a chance to get them, so it's really awesome.
Which is just because of the lahui. Like, most of the North Island, you're not allowed to.
For those, maybe people
overseas.
And overseas or South Island don't know, there's just pretty much hardly any areas in New Zealand, and the North Island in particular, where you're actually allowed to go for them. It was really cool. And from what I know of you, you're a man who is clearly very grateful and appreciative of nature's treats, and we can tell that from hanging out with you and being in your home, but also just, your YouTubes portray that pretty clearly. So, found you to be a calm, good vibes ocean lover who is a passionate provider for his family, and I'm pretty excited I get to go do a comp with you soon in a couple of weekends, so that'll be cool, and see how we go in the snapper shootout. Your YouTube channel features some quality narration, if you ask me. I think it sounds pretty natural, and there's just stunning scenes like we were talking earlier about your drone footage and your GoPros you use and stuff, and the scenes that you have on there are just, we've seen a lot of those places, but it's just beautiful. And the scenes of your adventures come across as a real no ego vibe. Like, you don't come across like you're just out to shoot all the kingies and come across like you're the man. Like, it's really natural, you're enjoying diving and line fishing and cooking up your kai and giving it to your special people. And we're excited to learn a little bit more about you tonight and have a yarn. So welcome and hello.
Sounds good.
Well, crack into the main juicy part that we always want to have the listeners understand, I guess, which is where did your spearfishing journey begin?
Spearfishing, so I was a bit of a latecomer when it came to spearfishing, as my dad and uncles were mainly kinner and crayfish divers, so they were all commercial kinner divers, and so I didn't really have a choice. I was just thrown on the boat and like, here's the life jacket, you're staying in the cab while we go diving, or you can make sandwiches or whatever, you know.
Sandwich boy.
But I had no choice to be out on the water with them. And my fascination with spearfishing, so that was all the way up until my late teens. And then my dad used to keep a Hawaiian sling in his dive bag, this
Nice.
yellow Pro Dive 3-pronged sling. And I always used to look at it and go, Dad, like, why aren't we using that? And he's like, no, I only get this out when I go diving for your nana. And I was like, oh, okay. And it's just like, it's pretty cringe to say, but now knowing why, he still doesn't know it, but he used to shoot a red muki for my nana because that was her favourite fish.
There's plenty of them, eh?
All right.
I mean, they're everywhere, right? Everywhere.
Technically
There's
not
parts said
illegal,
about
so-
them, but
Yeah.
like, you know,
That's a pretty
mate for life. But you
special.
can get both. Maybe the lady fish is quite happy to.
What was the deal with that? Was she just really liked the flavour?
Yeah, it was her favourite smoked fish because it's quite oily.
I have tasted it smoked too, and it's quite delicious.
Yeah.
Just saying.
So
Sorry, everyone.
sorry, red muki lovers, but yeah. So anyway, that was my first fascination. Second time that I remember was I saw a magazine cover, Spearo magazine cover, and it was this guy at depth with this massive GT, I think. And I just remember looking at that going, man, like I could already dive at that point for crays, pau or crayfish, but spearfishing was just like this total out there side of diving that I just wanted to get into. And then so that was the other significant moment. And then my partner actually bought me my first spear gun for my 21st birthday.
How cool.
Yeah.
Nice. So when you say you started out like going out on boats with your dad and granddad, where was that? What part of New Zealand?
Mainly in the Manukau Harbour. So that's where we grew up. Where I grew up. They would literally be out on the water every weekend. If it was rough, I remember being seasick on the boat and just, they'd pop their head in, are you all good? And then go back diving kind of thing.
So being on the ocean's is sort of almost like day dot for you. You just remember being on the ocean. Dave spent lots of time on the ocean and you're diving, but you went into the actual spearfishing until Georgia got you a gun.
Yeah.
What made her buy you one? Did she know you were interested, or did
Yeah.
her family do it, or?
No, I'd been talking about it for a long time and telling her I'm thinking about getting one and things like that, and then she just surprised me for my 21st birthday and got me my first spear gun. I think it was a Mirage 120. Yeah.
Do you still have it? Was it done at Stash a long time ago?
It's down at Dad's house. We use it as like a I don't know if I should say this, but we use it as like a gun in the mussel farms because it just gets nailed through all the ropes and stuff like that. Yeah.
Oh, there you go, ladies. You know, if you want to know how to lock down someone, buy them a spear gun. Also, with that though, like the Manukau Harbour, like it's pretty full on out there. Like it can have some really big currents and like it can be a really dangerous place. Like, did you experience some days where it was pretty full on, or did you just go out on the good days, or?
Yeah, my dad was pretty picky as to when he'd let me dive with like my uncles and himself. So I only really got to dive the good days. It wasn't until I got older and I started going back to those places that I realised, wow, this is like a real wild place and the current's so strong and the viz is like 2 meters.
And I guess if you don't know any different, right, like that's just that's the best you've seen.
Yeah.
Is that where you started spearing? Like when you got that spear gun, were you like, sweet, I'll just go into the Manukau because that's what you're used to?
No, I started spearing on the east side of the Coromandel.
Yeah.
So the family moved down to the Coromandel when I was around 11. And Dad was a mussel farmer down there. And so started officially spearfishing on the east coast of the Coromandel.
Choice. It's pretty cool spots. There's like fantastic spots out there. Like we know heaps of divers from there and always pulling in good fish.
I don't know much about mussel farm spearfishing though. Like obviously working on the mussel farms and going out on the boats is one thing, but were you straight into actually spearfishing like in the mussel farms?
No. So started just like shore diving off some of the nice beaches on the east side there. It wasn't until later that I actually made the decision to try and actually try spearfishing in the mussel farms.
Sweet. Do you remember what your first fish was?
My first fish.
Not one for Nana? Maybe.
I think it might have been a trevally.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a pretty good first fish.
Yeah.
Be happy as with that.
Yeah.
What do you think your favourite part of spearfishing is?
Favourite part of spearfishing? Probably being able to provide my family with all this fresh kaimoana and just seeing the enjoyment on their face when they're eating it, and just knowing, that I got it and they know where it comes from, they know how it was treated all the way up until it's on their plate. So
that's pretty special.
Yeah.
I love that. And I think, you talk about that on your videos as well. That's really cool, and I think we all kind of connect with that, eh? Like when you, like for example, last weekend when we went down to Napier, and being able to share the squid with your granddad and your dad
it's
as
pretty
well.
cool, like having like
Special,
a whole weekend of hunting and gathering with two different parts of my family and bringing the rest down to meet them and stuff, and just like sharing that food and seeing the pride and like my granddad and my dad, like Dad's given me venison to give to my granddad, and Granddad's got fish from us, and then his mate turns up who helps him out, so we give him a crayfish.
It's like connection.
And the guys we went with, like from Hawke's Bay, they were just like, no, you take that because you're only here for the weekend, like wanting us to give it to our family. And I think that is really cool that there's got to be a part in people going out that you're going to get food, but I think there is like that the bit of you that feels really proud to see people eating it, and like I know we've enjoyed your snapper tonight, like knowing that you've got that, and we can sit there and eat it and know that it's not from the supermarket. We know that you've put effort into getting that, and it tastes better, I reckon, when you know that it's had effort to get it. It's a really cool part of spearfishing that we both love as well.
Have you got like a meal you can think of that you brought back and you were just real proud of to share?
Particular meal, probably my go-to is the kingfish loins rolled in sesame seeds, seared, half seared and then sliced with like all the dipping sauces, so it's like half cooked, half not.
Oh, yum.
Yeah, haven't
Like
done that
is
yet.
that tataki? No, I might have said that wrong.
Something like
Tataki.
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 Yeah.
The
vanilla
Japanese.
sesame seed.
Oh my god, that's so good. What kind of dipping sauces do you go for?
Can't go past the sesame, the QP sesame
I
dressing.
saw that on the table tonight with what our options were, and I looked at it and I was like, oh, there's so many condiments I can't choose, but that's the one that I've been told to try for like sashimi and stuff.
Yeah, it's real good, but it can overpower, like you can't put too much on because it'll overpower the fish.
Bit of chili in there maybe?
Yeah, chili's good.
Heck yeah.
Okay, well, I mean, Kai sounds awesome, but in terms of like the ocean, sounds like you had a pretty, day dot start of being exposed to ocean environments with your granddad and your dad. But can you think back to a memory that's a particular ocean memory that you think super impacted you in the rest of your life?
My first shark encounter, spearfishing, that was pretty impactful.
Where were you? What kind of sharky boy?
So I was still new to the scene, and I just started to get my aim in, and I was shooting a local weed line at the beach in Great Barrier. And
which is George's family beach, eh? So you've been there a couple times, but you hadn't spearfished there, or?
Yep. I think it might have been. Oh no, it was maybe my second or third time at the beach, George's beach in Great Barrier, and so I was still on like shooting poreye and things like that, and so I think I had 3 poreye on the back of my.
Hell yeah!
Nothing wrong with the port eye.
Yeah. So I had a few on my float line, and this is before I had a float boat.
Okay, yeah, so struck up and dangling in the water.
Yeah, and we're talking like first or 2nd of January, like peak hot water, and I'm swimming along this weed line, and then I have this decent sized bronzy ghost me on my left side, so the weed line's on my right, the bronzy buzzes me from behind on my left. And I'm like, first shark I've seen in the water.
How enjoyable.
Yeah, I was like, ooh, you snuck up on me, didn't you? And then so I'm like, okay, it's a shark, all good. Like, I've seen this on YouTube videos before. You just like, don't be afraid, don't act like prey.
Yeah.
And then, so I turn around.
I've seen it on YouTube. I've got this.
Yeah, I've got this, I can do this. And then so it did a big circle, so I turned and the shark turned at the same time, and I started swimming back to the jetty at the same time as the shark. So now the weed line is on my left and the shark is out just on the vis line on my right, and I've got my head turned to the right and keeping my eye on it. And at this point I'm swimming towards the dead port eye on my float line, so where I'm almost at the dead fish hanging in the water. I've got my eye on the bronzy out to the right, and I don't know what made me look straight ahead, but I looked front on and there was this massive bronzy, like 1.5 times the one that was out to my right, like dropped a gear.
I haven't seen that on YouTube.
yeah. I was like, oh man, it's like actually happening. And then so this one was like fins down, booking it.
Oh, no.
On the surface, like, at you and at your port eye.
Right on the fin out of the water.
Oh,
really?
Yeah.
Oh no.
And this is my first encounter, so I'm like, holy, wait, I bring my gun up.
Did you make your arms straight and gently nudge its nose away?
Yeah.
Carry on, sorry.
Yeah, so I did lift my arm up, but I had a really pointy thing.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so I lifted my gun up and I was like, holy crap, this shark is gonna like just jam straight into the end of my gun.
Oh my gosh.
So sure enough, it did. They just booked it straight at me and I rammed the gun straight into its nose. Did not like that. It went semi-vertical. I think the end of the tip got stuck in its nose and it went vertical, so like I hit it and then it didn't like it and tried to like wrap around it, and I could see it vertically in the water, and that's when I saw the size of it. Like I saw the big white belly. Well, it was a bronzy, but you know they've got the lighter belly. Yeah. I saw it just
So it kind of went up,
curled up, and then like tried to shake the spear out of its nose, and of course I held on. And then just a whole heap of white water, and then...
And the other shark's
and
here somewhere too at some point.
Yeah, so there's this other one that's out there, and I'm like, is that coming in for a feed now, or is it like... So then straight away just turned my back to the weed line, gun straight in front of me, and I just kicked up onto the reef, like with the weed. So like, if you could picture like just me kicking backwards with the gun up, like just where
Keeping
these sharks going to come from. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So then I walked home on the rocks.
I don't blame you. Everyone's all like, stab the sharks in the face, and then that happens, and you're like, I don't want to stab the sharks in the face.
Yeah.
That's what that teaches you, eh? Because it's like, that's pretty dramatic. Like, that doesn't normally happen.
Yeah.
That's pretty full noise. Like, I mean, yeah. For them
Were you like alone as well?
I was alone. I was alone in the water, yeah.
And for them to be that interested in port eye as well did you get to keep your catch?
Yeah, I did actually.
Yeah, you won. What's up, shark?
Yeah. I saw these massive swirls around the float, and I was like, "You're not going to get my fish as well."
Yeah.
But it was pretty hectic.
That's so hectic. What did you like after that? Were you like give it a few days, or were you like, yeah, straight back in, or?
Nah, I told myself like you have to get back in the next day.
Good.
To like get back on the horse.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it would be a fear of mine for a while after. So the next day, got back in, and got some craze.
At least, like, when you experience that, it means, like, most of the other times you deal with sharks, it's not as bad as that.
Yeah.
Yeah. My partner's going to be real stoked to hear this, because I've been telling them that they're actually pretty chill. And they are, but, like, in their own setting when they're doing their own thing. But it is a bit of a difference when you're alone in the water, because, like, you know, there's not as much bait, you know, there's not other divers. But also, like, I don't know, it seems to be the ones in the top column of the water that seem to be way more dominant and way more, like, interested in what you're up to. And when they're up there coming in on you, it's always a bit of a different story, eh? Yeah, it's like, I've got to say, hey, I'm the predator here, not you. Yeah.
It's one thing to have one too, and you're like a little bit nervous.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I've seen one, I've got my eyes on it. To have a second or a third one, it's like you can't look on every angle. That's what makes me uncomfortable, is that whole thing, you know, when you turn around and they turn away from you as you turn around because they're coming up behind you. I hate that feeling, and I don't think it would matter how many times, but that sounds like a pretty impressionable first shark encounter. It's probably good that you did just get back in straight away, because otherwise you can kind of like psych yourself out about it.
Yeah.
Did you did you walk home on the rocks and end up at Weddy and get yourself a float boat? You're like, how?
Yeah,
how did I get here?
I didn't get a float boat for a few more years
Really?
after that. Yeah.
I don't need this.
I should have, but the Georgia, they had gone down to Fitzroy to do some shopping, and they came back and saw me walking along the rocks, and they were like, "What are you doing walking along the rocks, Huck? Like, we've never seen you walk along the rocks," and I was just like, it was a long day. 2 big sharks.
I reckon the shark probably went home and its mate saw him too, trying to like just scamper along the rocks, and he was like, oh, it's been a long day. Got shafted in the head.
Shafted in the nose hole.
Yeah.
I had an experience last summer where someone I know that I won't dive with again was like arcing up a shark with a kingy, kind of acting like they're trying to intimidate it supposedly, but basically the shark came at the person with the kingy and then kind of went away from them and just came straight at me. And I was trying to be a little bit brave, hadn't really poked a shark before, had seen heaps of them, had heaps of them come up on me, but I've never actually had to stab one. And it was on the surface and was coming pretty hot at me, and so I kind of like leant forward a little bit timidly, stuck out my arm, and the spear went into its mouth, so it opened its mouth as I stabbed it. My whole arm went like into kind of towards the shark, to the point where it didn't obviously bite my hand, but it inserted my spear into its throat. Yeah. And it just went in far enough until it kind of stabbed it in the back of the throat. Oh. And then even then it didn't still piss off.
Did it gag?
I was doing that.
The shark was like, I reckon technically I made the shark gag. But I know the feeling of like, alright, I've been told to stab the shark, you know, but I don't want to gag the shark. So it's just like put me off hard out. And then I was just like, So yeah, anyway, stabbing sharks doesn't always go to plan.
Yeah, but also if you're diving with people you care about, don't swing a kingy around and try to taunt them, you know?
Yeah, 100%.
Don't act like an ego.
Yeah, they're still predators, eh?
Yeah, we can't forget that. Like, I always think about it as like on land, like they're like the tigers and lions of the ocean, you know? And it's not like we would just go like, oh, hey, look at that nice little gazelle there. I'm going to shoot that in front of a tiger. Like, fuck that.
I think that's a good way of thinking.
You know, like, and then we forget, like, oh, actually, there's these big apex predators that are, you know, can breathe underwater. Can you describe your ideal dive buddy? Apparently, we have heard that you're competitive as fuck, that Campbell told us. And we do know that in a few weekends' time you will be going out with my Laura and my spicy mermaid on a comp. You can, you know, replace me as her comp buddy. That's okay. I won't be sad. But you will need to put up with spewing multiple times during the day.
It's barely in a comp.
Thinking that there is a snapper, getting real fizzed out about it and coming up with a really big port eye.
Sounds like he likes port eye anyway. So
that was when I was beginning.
To be fair though, she is really good at fish identification, and she'll be like, I just saw a kahawai, and I'll be like, did ya? And then I'll turn around, there'll be a school kahawai that I've totally missed. I'm like, oh, you're quite good. So she is actually real great to dive with. Anyway, back to it. What's your ideal dive buddy like?
Yeah, I was just about to say that I'm sitting across from my ideal
Oh, there you
dive
go.
buddy right
Yeah,
now, aren't I?
Because he hasn't dived with me properly yet. We just put scallops in a bag. He doesn't know.
Hey, we'll
Can't really get that wrong, can you?
Yeah.
There it goes.
Yeah, so my ideal dive buddy, probably someone that doesn't spook the burley or swim over
Mate,
burleys.
she produces the burley. Sorry, I'll
We're
stop.
not talking about me anymore, alright? We're focusing on people he's dived with.
Yeah, no speaking of
No
burley.
speaking the burley.
But this
And
is good.
no, maybe like spooking nice guts in areas before you get to swim over them, like potentially letting you take turns swimming. If you're both swimming the same way down the coast, then
Like leapfrogging and stuff, eh? Like taking turns.
taking turns at looking into the gutters without just forging ahead, I suppose. Yeah.
Because if you dive quite a bit, like with, I think I've read in the different things I've seen, it's like your dad, your granddad, your father-in-law, obviously your wife, like you dive with a lot of family members and stuff.
Yeah, 100%. The only spear fisherman out of the lot is George's brother that I would consider family that I spearfish with. And yeah, we go well together, but we tend to just swim separate ways and then meet back at the boat. Or if it's firing where he is, he'll call me over and vice versa.
That's cool. Do you have like someone that you dive with that you're quite into like one up, one downs with, or are you kind of like a bit more of a solo flyer?
I am more of a solo diver.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, definitely more of a solo diver than anything. I know it's frowned upon, but yeah, I just like the peacefulness of just having a piece of coastline to myself and just swimming it and not having to worry about my dive buddy, because I tend to do that a lot when I dive with people.
Yeah.
My mind is always focused on like them as well.
Yeah.
There's plenty of people in the New Zealand spearfishing community that love diving by themselves, love going snapper snooping on their own, particularly snapper snooping, because, you know, are so disturbed when other people make noise or you have to communicate with someone else. So I don't think you're alone in that. I mean, it might be frowned upon, but I think it's got nuts. Like, I don't know if I'll be able... I've dived a little bit by myself for a little bit of periods of time, but I've never, like, got in the water, gone on a, you know, even driven a boat and gone on a dive completely by myself. And as much as it might be frowned upon, I actually think it's pretty brave. And people who start out, like your scenario, like with sharks, like I freaked out when that happened when I was with people. Like if I was on my own, I don't even know if I would have got as into spearfishing as I did if I'd been diving on my own. So yeah,
I just dived by myself for a while because I didn't have any friends, but now I have a couple, so that's really nice. That's my story.
Yeah, you've got a really good dive buddy in Laura.
I do. She's the best.
I'm very lucky that she desperately needed a dive buddy, so that I made the cut because other people just weren't available.
Yeah, at that point it was anyone, and then I lucked out with Laura.
But it is that it will be interesting then for you with comps, because like even say for like me, let's go for a recreational dive. Like even now in the last few dives we've been on, she's probably been a bit like, you're kind of off over there a little bit, because I started to get a bit more confident, like giving her a bit of space. But even like on the weekend the weekend before that, like I shot a kingy, stuck my head up, yelled at her, she'd already seen it because she wasn't that far away from me, and she was straight in there, loaded her gun and got the second shot, and we weren't actually diving.
That was some good teamwork.
Yeah, we weren't actually diving right next to each other. Like if we're in a comp, like we're fully next to each other because you're attached.
Yeah.
So it's a very different kind of diving. But we still had our moments of where, like, you know, one of us is like, all right, you're in charge, and then the other one will see like a school of fish and kind of like pull the other one the other way, and like I think it's just you sort of figure out how to.
We never squabble though. Like that's something about me and Laura. Like we never ever squabble about anything. So
No, never.
no.
Let me clarify squabbling. But no, it'll be cool. But I think like I'll probably be able to learn a lot off you as well. Like people who dive by themselves / dive, and you know, you seem to dive with other people on the boat and people fishing. It's not like you're alone. You know, there's people keeping an eye on you too, and that's not alone. But I think you probably learn a lot about your diving because you're making so much progress on your own. Like you don't have anyone else to copy or critique you either.
Yeah, it's a good and a bad thing though, because like I wish I had got in the water with someone really experienced earlier, because it's taken me so long to learn to hunt snapper. Like yeah, that's just been a fish that I'm just like laser focused on, and it's taken me ages to actually figure out, okay, I can't swim over the ledge before I plan to like have a look in. And it sounds really stupid because of course when you say it out loud it doesn't make sense, but when you're in the water things change and you're like, you know, this is actually a good ledge, so I should just stop, take a break, and then just have a look over it before I swim over it type thing.
Which is like all good to say, like I wish I went with someone really good, and I've like definitely had a bit of both of those worlds where I've like had to learn myself, but then also have been out with like really incredible divers. The times that you spend struggling and the times that you don't get it often end up being like some of the most foundational for like actually getting them, because you have to work it out and then you really learn it, because you're like, all you have to fall back on is yourself, and you're like, you know. But then again, it's also really good having great people now, like, who will watch me and be like, oh, like, for example, like going diving with Darren and then dipping my head over a rock, and then he's like, put your gun behind you, and you're like, what? Like, I did not know that was a thing. Like, even with Alex, like, having your head in the reeds, like, actually being in them, not just on them, and then, like, having your gun behind you so that you're not such a big profile in the water, like those kind of tips that you just, I don't know, I would never have thought about. Like, are there any things with snapper shooting that have taken you a while, I guess, to learn, that you would want to give to other people now? Or are you like, go and find them yourself? I had to learn, so do you.
Yeah. Tips, the biggest things for me. I think the biggest thing when it comes to the snapper snooping would be take a little bit more time than you normally would. Don't be in a rush. And actually identifying the areas that the snapper should or will be in, like deep kelpy gutters or over the ends of bommies that current's hitting, or in the nice dark areas of the kelp.
Like facing out to the ocean rather than inland, sort of thing.
Yeah, identifying those types of areas, I'd say.
I noticed too in your videos, like, one, you throw your kinner, which I know there's a couple of people I know who do that, and there's like one of your videos I was watching, you like throwing kinner out, and then you're critiquing yourself in your video, and you're kind of going, here I went over too soon, you can see I've spooked a few, and you've obviously got quite like a process where not only openly on a video you critique yourself, but some people would have way too much ego to do. You obviously, if that's what you're doing on a video, you must be doing that when you're actually diving, and each time you dive you're obviously thinking through like, oh yeah, I shouldn't have done that, and next time I'll do this. And I don't think everyone actually thinks heaps about that when they're diving all the time. To a degree I think people have to, or you wouldn't like progress. But I was quite interested when I was watching your videos that you were going, you're putting the little arrows in as to where they're out, pointing out to the people watching the video like what you've actually done right or wrong, which I think you can learn quite a lot off just watching a video when someone's openly critiquing themselves, which must help you. Yeah,
it's like high performance sport. It's just like a video diary that you use to critique yourself, and I use it a lot. So, yeah.
That's awesome. Do you do that like for me, I find like every single dive I do, every time, like, I don't know, on my way back up, I'm already thinking about how I did the approach, what I did on the bottom, what my body was doing, and I'm already thinking about how I can try do better in the next dive. Do you do that as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Sweet, because I ask some people and they're like, nah, not really. Unless it goes well, I'm like, that was meant, do that again.
Yep.
Like, but yeah, no, it's an interesting one, because you constantly try to improve on the next one you do,
Yeah, because if you go down, say you've set a burley over a ledge and you come down, you've let it soak for like 15 minutes or so, which I'm terrible at. Like, I get so excited to check, like, take the first peek at it.
Yeah.
Sometimes I do it way too early.
Yeah.
Like, I just like, oh yeah, I'm supposed to go and check for crays now, and then I like keep looking back at the ledge, and I'm like, oh, there could be something big over there. But like, getting back to my point was like, if you come down and go to look over the ledge, and then a big snapper's already sensed you or something, and he's already up in mid-water looking at where you're going to come over, you've done something wrong.
Yeah.
And just like, what did I do wrong? Because that's happened so much to me.
Yeah. And then just, it's nothing worse than hearing and seeing the tail of a snapper bursting away that's on thumper, and you're like, what a gear.
Well, I looked at I think I sent it to you today, I looked at the guidelines for the snapper comp, because I actually never done this comp that we're going to, where it's just John Dory and snapper. And like, if you'd asked me a year ago would I go into a snapper comp, I'd have gone, I've only ever got one snapper. I think I've got like 5 now.
Nice.
But I learnt so much in between that first, second, third and fourth and fifth snapper, like crazy amounts, that I'm excited to go and be like, right, well, to be fair, if we see kingies and kahawai and stuff like that, I'm probably going to shoot them anyway. Because it's like, we're still out for a dive, we're still out to get dinner on, But because that's the only comp I've ever been in where there's 2 fish on the list. Usually there's lots of fish.
Right.
So it'll be interesting for you too, because if you love hunting snapper and you're thinking about that, you'll probably feel sweet, because you'll be like, oh yeah, cool, this is what I'm into, like I can do this. But it's cool. It's cool being able to put all those things into play. Whereas a lot of those other fish, I feel like, are those random fish. Those come along and can you shoot fast and can you aim all right? And that's exciting, but it's more rewarding, I reckon, having to like really line up so many different factors to be able to land a snapper.
Yeah, 100%. Because I think that's what draws me to the snapper, because they're just so elusive, and like you say, you just have to have so many things that line up, and you have to do them well to be successful.
One of them is this is for beginners, this might be a bit of a hot tip for you. You lay your burley, you've done a really good job laying your burley, you take your face out of the water, you swim away, you look back down, and then you go find your burley again 5 minutes later, and you're like, where the fuck is my burley? Such a problem. Like, what do you do, or how did you learn to, triangulate yourself or navigate where you are in the ocean?
Like, in a broad sense, if I'm looking at like scallop beds or something like that, I generally use landmarks or marker buoys as like a triangle to mark the spot in my head. But marking ledges or recognizing ledges is a little bit different, because it's like really specific. You have to know exactly where your ledge is. I guess it's the same, like underwater marks.
Rocks that have got white bits on,
or orange bits on them, or a rock that's sticking out of water. I know I have to be close to that to start my approach. Or
so taking time before you swim away, or even taking time before you've actually laid your burley to see where you are, the direction of travel, having a practice even at your approach to see if it's a quiet and good enough approach before you actually lay your burley, because you might do it and then be like, oh, actually that's way out in the open here.
Elise taught me that. Actually, someone taught her and then she taught me, as I asked her why she was doing it, and she's like, oh, always practice your actual going down, because if you can't sort of approach from a good angle and think you're going to be able to snoop over, why would you lay a burley there? And I was like, oh, it's actually really good. So that's kind of something I always think about, is like, do a little practice drop over, but you would anyway, right? Because you want to snoop and see if there's something there first up, and see if there's any little ones or any big fish or whatever, and
where the sunlight is on your back, all of the factors. If you get a nice ledge facing out to the ocean, lots of kinna around, that's real easy to smash instead of having to collect a bunch and dump it, and then having the sun behind your back, you're onto a good thing. And all these linos. Sorry,
what was that, Elise? What was that? Are you using a term that you didn't think was a real term?
For ages, I just thought that Laura was saying linos because she was real cool and had made it up for people that's like fish. And I was like, that's so funny, Laura. Good job, you made it up.
She thought I was trying to make a cool word. She's trying to make up a cool word for something that wasn't a word.
She is cool, so she can make up cool words like lino. But everyone on a line probably think, oh, snapper, what's, you just put your line down and pull them up, right? But actually, spearfishing, is so hard for snapper. Just, for anyone that's listening that hasn't actually been spearfishing before, snapper are our trickiest fish, I'd say, in New Zealand.
I'd say like the hardest common fish.
Yeah, hardest
absolutely.
common fish for sure.
And the more and more people we talk to, the more people, and we're actually going to probably do a whole snapper
I reckon.
episode where we ask lots of different people their opinions on either hunting snapper, conservation of snapper, like breeding, all the different things, because it's such a sort of hot topic.
Yeah.
And because it is so different to linos and snapper
Linos.
and what they think. But anyway, rolling along, this is one of my favourite kind of questions that Elise used to tease me about, but I really like it because it goes quite deep. What does it mean to you to be a Spearo? And that's if you'd even call yourself one, but I'm going to presume
I
that you
definitely,
do.
yeah. What does it mean to be a Spearo? It's just a place that I can go to switch off my mind, zero myself, and like come back fully charged. Come back to reality, like back to work or back to everyday life, back to the wife, or just come back full of energy from that, just having a complete 6 hours or whatever it is, however long I'm in the water, just switched off. Yeah, I suppose.
So would you say to you it's like a place that you need to, not necessarily escape, but a place you need to go to like realign yourself or recharge yourself?
It's 100%. I think people like us and the people you've had on the podcast before, we've got like a connection with the ocean that is like so hard to explain. It fulfills our lives in so many different ways that I can't even begin to explain. Like for some reason when I'm stressed as from work or something's going on, like I'll just automatically have this urge to get on my kayak and just go sit out in the water, or it just does something for me. Which I can't explain. It's weird, and I'm not usually like a real spiritual guy, so this is weird. But yeah, it's definitely deeper than just a hobby.
I think all Spearos have, and we obviously have had the joy of having these conversations with people, but like we've both been listening to and reading Blue Mind. I don't know if you've heard of that book. You should really definitely listen to the audio, read the book. Then it's just all about this guy. I'm going to summarise it really badly, but a guy's done a bunch of research around the impact of water on people. It's all the different aspects of their well-being, seeing it, being around it, thinking of it, just every part of your well-being that could be impacted by water. And I've been listening to it just going, oh my gosh, this is so it. But you also talk to Spearos, and everyone has this twinge of, and whether you call it spiritual or not, but this kind of unexplainable impact that they have from being in the water. And it isn't just going and killing fish, going and getting food, or going and being excited on the water with your mates. It's that other element that everyone puts into words in slightly different ways, which I think is why we asked that question, because to be a Spearo might be part of being in the community, but with like you, where you've been doing a lot of solo diving, maybe for you it's a lot easier to say, well, being a Spearo is maybe going and doing that, seeking that feeling, maybe,
like the feeling of going home.
Yeah, exactly it. It's like your feeling of going home. And like I talk in my YouTube videos about diving in the same place that my dad was gathering seafood for us as a family, and I get this feeling of like, I don't know, because my dad's been there before, I just feel like he's with me, or
like an ancestral return.
Yeah, like some type of connection like that it's just like, it's different.
Yeah, I totally get that.
It makes it pretty special, eh?
Yeah. And
I think for the same reason, that's why people then want to do that activity. They don't want to force spearfishing on their kids.
Yeah.
They want them to have that connection and that feeling and that hereditary passed down as well, I think.
Find that love and that joy that the ocean gives you, And I'm sure there's a bunch of like scientific stuff as well as spiritual stuff, I guess, with like, the positive electrons moving around and like that feeling of stoke, I think someone's done like a paper on the feeling of stoke with surfers, and it's all to do with like the fizz of the, electrons around you. Yes, correct me if I'm wrong. It's okay. I'm not a scientist, but I like it. Anyway, have you got a dear diary entry for us, like a day in the ocean that you would write in your journal and tell us all about?
I would say one of the most epic trips I've ever been on was the Pure Salt Charter
Cool.
down in Dusky Sound.
Yeah.
That did look epic.
It was unreal, and what makes it worse is that the guy you interviewed, Matt, so we were sitting in
Kaio.
Yeah, Matt Kaio. We were sitting in the hangar waiting to go on the boat, and we heard over the radios that a guy shot a bluefin tuna on this charter, and I was like, "You're joking!"
And it was Matt.
It was Matt. So we were the charter next, and like I had huge expectations from the get-go. I'm like, "There's gonna be massive 150 kg bluefins in the Sounds, and I'm gonna shoot
love
one."
hearing that, eh?
Honestly, man, I've had this chat with him at the Dark Horse.
And then he tell you like 3 days later he got a mahi-mahi just on the west coast.
Yeah, I think he did say that. Yeah, and then but yeah, so that was the start of the trip, and then it was just a week of go gather, and then Ingrid in the kitchen just whooped up these unreal meals. And you ate like kings every night, but you'd go out and the crayfish down there is just unbelievable. Like in some areas you can't even see the walls, they're just littered.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Paua,
Massive kinna,
massive kinna, blue cod. They just come up to the end of your spear and like sniff it.
Oh my gosh. I'm still yet to shoot a blue cod of size. I've got one at 32 centimetres but not 33, so
they'll be at Stewart Island.
it's a bit heartbroken. So the salt charter, pure salt charter, the main thing that stood out for me when I first saw them is just the fact that they have a spa pool on the top deck.
Yeah.
Did you live in that?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, we did. So the charter we had, it
More
snowed.
prawns.
Yeah.
Bring me alcohol and prawns. Perfect holiday.
Yeah. So it was perfect. Like we were wearing the 7mm suits, and then it was literally just whoop them off straight up to the top in the hot tub.
Oh.
And there was this one day in particular that was really memorable. It actually snowed down to sea level.
No way.
So it was snow. I've got photos on the phone.
Oh my gosh.
So it snowed. We were diving in the snow.
That's buzzy.
And like freezing temperatures, but the wetty 7mm were just unreal.
Mint.
Yeah, so back on the boat, whip it all off in our poncho towels, all up in the hot tub, and just it was snowing on our heads while we were cruising through the Sounds.
Was it okay, not to be a nerd, but was it a smooth skin or was it a regular
It was
wetsuit?
a regular wetsuit.
And that was warm enough in the snow.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Yeah. Oh, some of the people got cold, but like I was always the last one out. One more dive.
It's like snowing on your head.
Yeah.
I would love to see those photos.
If
and
you're gonna
please,
be cold, like if you're gonna be cold and dive, you might as well have snow. At least
Yeah.
then you get like that full experience. So that's cool.
please send those photos in. We would love to have those as like on the Insta. If you're willing. I'm sure lots of people listening to this would want to see it too. Nothing like shaking. I haven't shaken the ice off my wetsuit for diving, but I have for canyoning, and like just getting in the water with that around you, it's always a little bit like, oh,
Yeah.
God.
What was some other kind of memorable? Because obviously, like, you do a lot of solo diving, but you went with Georgia on that trip as well. Did you guys go away for like a special reason?
Yeah, Georgia and her whole family. No, there's no. I can't remember. I don't think there was a special reason. Yeah, we just filled the whole boat with just family members.
Oh wow, okay, so you weren't even sharing the charter. It was like everyone you knew.
Yeah, it was just Georgia and her close family, and a few of the family friends. So it was a pretty special charter.
Yeah.
That sounds like such a dream.
Trip of a lifetime.
Week. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Do you have any, I mean, it sounds like you appreciate the whole experience and the gathering and everything, but do you have like a particular fish even that, like, you know, you have like an experience like that and the feeling of it, but do you have a fish that's like a really memorable fish, or would you say you're more the kind of person that you remember the full experience and all of the sensations as more of a whole?
First fish, most memorable fish would probably be my first kingy.
Yeah.
Definitely. We were down at a mate's batch. Do you want to hear the story?
Yeah.
Hell yeah,
Oh, okay.
Are you kidding?
So down at a mate's batch in the Coromandel, and there's a nice little estuary that leads out to the open ocean, And so I took my kayak down, wetsuit, spearfishing gear, and there's a nice island not far from the estuary, and it drops away quite deep on the open side of the island. And so I did my normal thing. I anchored the kayak in the nice calm area behind the island, and I swam out to the to this nice drop off. Started throwing kinna like I normally do, and then out of nowhere, just a nice school of mackies just came blitzing straight towards me, and I was like, okay, we're in. There's something behind these. And then, sure enough, I think it was about 3 kingies just all came in, and I picked the biggest one, popped it. The shot was a little high. The spear gun was almost new, and I found it was shooting a little higher with a skinnier shaft. I don't know why, but since upgrading the shaft, it's like laser. But that, pulling it onto my kayak, gutting it in the water, and then paddling back up the estuary with this kingy tail hanging out of the back of the kayak to all my mates was just like, they were like, what? Where did you get that? And I was just like, oh, just out the estuary.
Just on my boat, on my little kayak.
That's so good.
Had you, that must have been an amazing feeling, but had you even seen them in the water and, missed them, or had you not seen any yet? What was the kind of pre-context to that?
No, I hadn't, crayfish diving and all the diving that I'd done prior to that day, I had never seen a kingfish in the water.
So that's the first time you saw a couple and you got one?
Yeah, and I popped one, yeah.
Because a lot of people I know, it's they haunted them. They saw certain ones and didn't get a shot on them, didn't know if they were big enough or missed and all that kind of thing. But that's pretty cool. So first time you saw them, and how big would it have gone?
It would have been
Not that it's about the size.
around the 10 kg mark.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Nice eater.
Yep.
Delish.
Did you kind of get the kingy froth after that? Were you kind of holy? Because it's a different experience. It's there's that other kind of exciting, very different to snapper, very different to getting crays.
Yeah, they're so strong, and half the fun is actually once you've shot them. If you don't hurt them, they'll punish you, or they'll helicopter in the weed and try and rip the spear out.
Yeah, they rub it out.
I love shooting kingies.
So I guess you started having these experiences. I'm speculating here, but you started having these really special experiences in the water. Were you someone who had already kind of YouTubed other stuff you did, or were you I really want to capture what it is I'm doing and share it with other people, look at it for yourself? How did you kind of start going down the YouTube channel route?
Is that creating my own one, or just
tell us about Salty Dogs, your new.
I was kind of just leading into asking about that, because I just wondered how you began recording stuff.
YouTube, I used to watch Luke Potts' videos religiously. He did a series in the Hauraki Gulf, and I basically self-taught myself from his videos, him. That's where I got the throwing the kinna from. I just tried to study his videos and
soak it up.
That man, he shoots a lot of big snap, and I'm very jealous.
He's a wise dude. When we only had one chat with him, and we could have talked to him for another whole hour and still not have gained all the pearls of wisdom. So I can see why you would have divulged all of that content just to.
Did you just go off his YouTube ones, or did you sign up for his in-depth discussion where he really goes through and teaches people about stuff?
No, I didn't have enough money for that.
Yeah, I was like that at the time too. I was like, oh no, it cut out. How will I know how to get it?
Pretty much me too. But no, I just watched all of his free stuff on YouTube, and
cool.
Yeah.
The quality of filming is really good. He's just got into the Osmos, I think, maybe camera.
Osmo,
is that right? Okay.
Same as that one.
So you've just got into the DJI.
Yeah.
We were just having a look in a play before, and I'm pretty sold out, because it's that one can be waterproof down to 20 meters.
Yeah.
Whereas
with no housing.
With no housing, whereas the GoPros you have to put a housing on.
All those things on the internet at the moment on Instagram that are showing you the two different comparisons of the same footage of two different cameras. That's what does your head. You're like, wow, that's
what's got me
clearer.
is how much lighter it is compared to the GoPro. But they're both really great. I've got the GoPro, love it. But I wouldn't mind having a little nudge at the DJI, because it is a lot lighter, and I do find it a little clunky on my head. So
But sorry, circling back.
Carry on back.
Circling back, we do want to talk about in depth about salty dogs and your channel. But I guess I was just trying to get a bit of like an idea of like why you went there. Like, you know, did you love photography? Did you already film GoPro stuff, or were you just suddenly like, I want people to see what is under here? Like,
yeah, no. So the whole thing is like one of my favorite things to do, or to used to do, is I'd listen to my uncles and dad talk around the table like after a dive, and they would just go on all night about these amazing stories, like this happened and then I saw an orca and then it like winked at me, and you know, like just these amazing stories that I could just sit there and listen to all night. And I was just thinking, like, what's our version of that? It's YouTube. Like, so now I basically, the reason I started my YouTube channel was so that I've started a running log of the missions that I got up to, so that one day when my kids are old enough, I haven't even had any kids, so it might be a bit weird, but when I do have kids, they can look back and see, oh, Dad used to get up to this, like, oh, look what he did here, like, man, he was crazy.
Pretty cool.
Or, so that's the whole
kind of like a visual capturing of the stories that you could maybe share verbally, but like capturing them visually for the future generations.
Yeah, 100%.
That's cool.
What is it about, like, the idea of that, of like what you know, your kids in the future, what is it about that you actually want to portray and pass on to them? Little side question there.
Maybe just the love for the ocean, and how amazing it can be, and what lessons it can teach us. Like, it can teach you bravery, it can teach you patience, it can teach you so many different things. And I just think a lot more people need to get in the ocean and experience it.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
It's really admirable. I mean, in a time where, and we face this too, you know, why have we started a podcast? I mean, one of the reasons I love having conversations is the same thing, like hearing my dad talk about his hunting stories and like his family stories, and my mum talking about stories and then working on farms and in forestry and at the beach. And it's just like, you know, you want to capture people's stories for when they're not around. You want to hear other people's points of view and all those kinds of things. And I mean, that's why we enjoy having these conversations as well. But if that can also shed a positive light on getting your own food, fishing or hunting sustainably, enjoying the ocean, having like mental well-being benefits, like all those things, if you can do that in this day and age where there's so much, you know, quote unquote, like crap online that's just crap, that isn't really benefiting,
thumbnails
isn't benefiting anyone. I mean, hey, you know, all good if you want to be a bikini girl, but like, the idea that we have that kind of opportunity to either use it for good or for evil, kind of, right? Like, and I think if you can have a core reason to be making content or videos or podcasts that actually to, you know, tell stories for future generations, to promote the good sides of all of these outdoor pursuits, I think it's a pretty admirable thing to be doing. It's not a waste of it's definitely not a waste of time.
No,
anyway.
It's definitely not. Yeah, it's interesting what you learn, like for you having your dad as a mussel farmer and being a diver and all that, like even just at the weekend being with my parents, and my dad's like telling me about when he was in Perth growing up, he saved his money for ages and bought a spear gun, and then his dad was like, why'd you waste your money on that, you know, like what do you know, it's not giving back to the family or anything, so he kind of just like put it away, but always had that like curiosity about it. So it's funny that I picked it up now because he's like finally said, can I take him out? And I'm like, hell yes I can.
So, dad out too with the dads on tour.
It'd be so fun. He's going to die inside if he ever hears this. But so hi Dad. Yes, we will go for a dive and we'll get you some fish. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, well, I mean, just to give people who haven't maybe seen your YouTube, just give them a bit of context, kind of like on the vibe that you know, more to what you've just said. You've written on there that, you know, kia ora, my name is Ihaka, I'm just a country boy living in the big city. Follow along as I try to record my best adventures to one day show my kids. My passion is adventuring all over New Zealand, showcasing the best that our coastlines and oceans have to offer, as well as the odd cook-up. that's a pretty good summary of what you're portraying. And like, you know, it's just natural. It's not trying to be anything you're not. And I think you do an epic job of the filming and narrating and editing. I mean, I can't really choose between the different things I like the most, but I do really like the narration, because it is it is what it is. You know, you shoot pigfish, you miss a couple fish, you say what you have and haven't done, and you just, you know, you're not going overseas to Rarotonga spending a bunch of money or anything necessarily. You're just going to the places that you've grown up spearfishing, that your family spend time, and talking about how they're an aquarium. Which is I really like the narration. It's really relaxed and honest, and we should have asked you to intro that.
Why are we doing it? We should have been like,
we can re-record it. He can read his own thing.
Straight off, get in there.
A few beers before narration always helps, eh?
It's really well laid out.
And I guess, I mean, that was, I mean, Elise might have different thoughts, but I thought you just, it's organics, no ego.
Yeah, it's great.
You point out, like I was saying earlier, you point out where you've gone wrong, you critique yourself, and I think it's a really healthy thing in the sport for people to be seen, to be saying, that's where I did something wrong, or I've learned from that, or next time I'll do this. And like, if you're saying you learnt off Luke Potts' videos, I imagine that you have an idea in your head that there may be some people watching your videos that can learn off you. Is that something that you think about?
Yeah, sometimes. I'm not, like, one thing my videos I know don't do a very good job of is actually showing people step by step. I think I've done one video on, like, spearfishing snapper, where I actually missed the shot that I got, but missed the shot on film. But I'm not very good at teaching people, and I don't know if my my videos actually are very good. But there's plenty of other educational YouTube channels out there, like the Weddy one's amazing because they just talk through everything. Luke Potts is really good one because he just does such a good job at like filming the whole approach and the shot and the post shot stuff like that.
But like you said, you're documenting your journey. That doesn't have to be step-by-step tutorials. To just show what you're doing, I think people do actually learn off that. Like, whether that's an accidental byproduct of you just documenting your journey, I think people will learn off it, and they'll learn the way that you can be around spearfishing, if that makes sense. Like having that respect for the environment and sharing it with your friends and family, and still being happy when you don't see huge fish, but also being stoked about the kingies. I just think it's I've seen a lot of YouTube content, and a lot of it is just the good parts or tutorials. So I think it is cool to have your classic Kiwi dude who's showcasing all the different bits. So I don't think you need to be trying to teach anyone anything.
What did you call it earlier? What did you call it earlier when you were talking about the shot? The shots, like when you only get the good shots.
Kill shot, bro, or something.
Kill shot, bro.
I only do headshots, bro. Or no, there's none of that on my. Like, I make bad shots all the time. Everyone does it. It's just the part of spearfishing.
So you're hoping to reach or impact like Kiwi people, anyone who's into spearfishing?
Yeah, anyone who just loves the ocean, because like there's a mix of spearfishing, diving, just
lino activities.
Yeah, some lino activities on there. But just anyone who like froths the ocean, I'm just here for it. Yeah. So
you've got a drone. I believe we basically have the same one. I bought one, don't know how to use it. Thought I'd give it a wiggle a couple of weeks ago on the boat, and quickly learnt that I should have tried it out on land first. But my God, it is hard to catch them back on the boat, huh?
Yeah.
How do you do that by yourself?
100%. So you have to, because basically what they do is they set a GPS mark.
Yeah.
Where you launch them from, and then that is now their home. And so you've got a boat that's constantly moving. So then they just want to go back home if the battery dies or they lose signal, this and that and the other. But I find with my one, if you turn it, do you have cinema mode, normal, and...
I don't know. Probably.
Do you have the 3 buttons at the top of the remote?
Yeah, I need to give it a better go, probably, probably. But I literally tried it once, and when you are just thrown in the deep end by yourself, I was kind of just like survival mode at that point, hoping not to have to do an insurance claim.
Yeah. A good bodie helps. Like a good bodie who can like keep you under the drone.
Yeah.
That really helps. But when you're by yourself and it's windy, it gets a bit tough.
So notes for later when I actually look at my drone properly. The 3 buttons on the top, what do they do?
Yeah, so put it in, I find that put it in from cinema mode into sport mode.
Sport mode?
Yeah, and then it will just go straight down into landing.
Okay, so you can force it down to the ground instead of having it hover.
Yeah, so I click mine into sport and then just hold the left thumbstick down. Yeah. And then until it gets to your hand, and then when you grab it like that, you're supposed to flip it over.
Right.
Like instantly.
Yeah, okay.
And it'll stop instantly.
Okay, well, that's a good tip.
I will be throw them upside down.
Yeah, and rub their bellies and
I'll give that a go. I think the first time I took it out and the only time so far, there were like birds dive bombing it and all sorts of things, and I was like, luckily I was on a boat with a good boatie, so it was a bit hectic. Might do some pilot training on land.
Yeah, that always helps.
No, you have some beautiful drone footage, and it combines really well with what's anyone can chuck a GoPro on and swim around and shoot a fish and chuck it on a video, and it's pretty cool. Like, for instance, I suck. Like, I went to art school for 5 years and I did photography, and I'm just started GoProing, and I'm like, man, this is actually way harder than I think. So I think for the people out there who are like, I'm going to start my own YouTube channel, same with podcasting, a lot of people start and they don't continue because they don't put the time and energy into it, or they don't get past those first hurdles. And there is actually an art to finding your own style of how you film or how you combine edits together, and creating your own sense of brand for your YouTube or your podcast. And I think it's cool to be around other creative people, and people finding their own little mark they want to leave on the sport or on the recreation, or even, like you say, like a mark they want to leave for their family. I think that's cool.
In your videos, you got a couple of spots that people can see are spots. What do you think about that? Like spot burning, as you say, or people calling you out for like showing areas? Like, how do you feel about that? Not saying it's anyway. Carry on.
Yeah, I think the spots that you do see on YouTube are the ones that I'm willing to give up. However, a good spot won't fill your bin with fish. Yeah. I still think you need to be a good hunter to put the fish in the bin. So just knowing where the fish are doesn't necessarily, just give it to you on a silver platter.
So having the spot's not good enough, eh?
Well, even reading the conditions, right? Like, say with the scallops, like, they're not hard to hunt because they're scallops, essentially. But there's still a lot in, when we talk through the spot that you took me to, there's still a lot in, like, reading the weather and the currents and all the different things that could happen. And that's not even considering something like a fish that is going to also move and behave differently. I mean, I know scallops do behave and they do move, but like, it's pretty lowbrow movement, That's a really interesting perspective that you have on that, because people do get a bit hot heavy sometimes about the whole like putting spots on YouTubes or us putting photos up and having obvious landmarks in the background, and I don't know whether that comes from greed from other people and they don't want to share the stocks, or they're worried that they're going to get pillaged. But I think, it's an interesting conversation to have, to say that there's a lot more that goes into getting fish consistently at a certain time of year, on a certain current or tide, in a certain place. Yeah, you need to know the spot. It's not just know where it is. You actually have to know how the spot works as well. Yeah. And different amounts of visibility, like, same, we've gone to Hawke's Bay and different places recently, and I mean, if you don't know that spot and it's 2 meters viz, like, it's pretty hard to find the rock formations and the ledges and the little cave cracks and all those kinds of things if you haven't been there before. So you recently went out with Laura looking for some scallops. Would you guys like to talk about that dive? It's known to have a lot of big juicy great whites in the area. I know one of our pilots from work, he's like one of our contractors, has said that he's seen some of the biggest great whites he's ever seen in that area from the air.
So, yeah, tell me about that.
Or even just tell us about scallop diving.
Yeah.
I mean, and you've included it in your videos. It's not something that everyone is brave enough to do or has access to.
I mean, it's that spot that I took you to. Quite a few people know about the area, but it's the things inside that keep them away from it, right? It's the great whites. But what keeps me going back is the fact that my uncles and dad dove that harbour every weekend and they never saw one.
Awesome.
Like, I have no doubt that they're there and they've probably seen me diving there, like multiple times, probably. But I mean, if they come in and they want you, it's over anyway. Like they're just gonna snap you in half.
Yeah.
If that's the way you're gonna go, that's the way you're gonna go.
Yeah, I mean, what a rad way to go. Like, I just got smashed by a big great white, you know?
Yeah, and if you don't, like, you get some scallops.
Yeah.
So,
The scallops everyone else is too pussy to go get.
Yeah.
how good's that?
Yeah.
Well, I'd love to come.
We'll get you out there as well.
Yeah, it could be something we could just pop on down after work even, like,
100%.
heck yes, summertime. So
No, for some reason I wasn't scared. Like, I am scared of sharks, and I'm like, we're going to Stewart Island soon, and I need to desensitize
We need to
myself.
relax about that.
I need to put
It's
up
gonna be
pictures of great
fine.
whites on my bedside just so I can, work through the worries, because that's part of the reason I'm trying to do it.
I'm going to
is 'cause
send you a
it's
picture
scary.
every day
Okay.
when you wake up, just of like a sharky boy, and then one day it will just be me, and you'll be like, ah!
At the end of Laura's bed.
yeah.
But I guess that's one of those things too, is that there's always different parts of things that can be hard to get reward. Nothing good ever comes easy, all those kinds of yarns. And I mean, I appreciate you sharing that spot with me, and I think Elise would like to get some scollies. But you did say that there are hectic parts to the, not just the fact, we didn't even talk about the sharks really, but the current and how the current can hiss there and stuff. And you guys were both saying to me, you and Georgia were both saying, can really hoon that way. And
Yeah, so I'll always dive that place on the low, so that, not because of the depth, but because I know that once the tide starts coming in, you're only going to get swept down the harbour and not, because once you go around that corner, you're gone.
Yeah.
And that current pumps at like a couple knots. But that day I couldn't believe how calm it was. It was just like, it went all oily almost, and we had like no current. Usually it's like being on a treadmill.
yeah, you guys were telling me, right, when you go down, you're probably going to come up and you'll be like 15 metres that way.
Yeah.
And I was getting all psyched up for it, and then it didn't happen, and I was
Interesting.
like, oh, okay.
So do you like the other day we were diving in some pretty good current, and the people we were with chucked down a drop weight that was like heavy enough to be able to dive the line. Do you ever do anything like that?
Sometimes I'll actually in one of my videos, I was using my catch bag as the weight. So I put a couple of scallops in it, and then I left it on the bottom, and then I would sort of just use the float as, because you can't see.
Yeah, you can't always see where you're going.
Yeah, and you can't actually see the catch bag, so you kind of just have to look back at the float and orientate yourself off the float.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, I do.
Nice. Oh, that's pretty cool. That's clever. Diving in like 1 metre to 2 metres visibility. Could you tell us, have you got any icks or anything that annoys you when you're out and about? Like, what's your spearfishing ick?
Spearfishing icks.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be when you're out. It could be sitting at home, like, coaching whoever it is on TV. Oh, why'd you do that like that? Whatever you like.
Peeves.
Yeah.
Pet peeves. Oh, I've got a couple.
Fantastic.
Yeah. One would be taking Spearos out or divers out and them not offering to help clean the boat afterwards.
We would
Good to know. Noted for 2 weeks from now. Noted for future dives. Interesting you say it, because sometimes you offer and people have such a precise way they want it cleaned, they don't want you to help.
Oh yeah, like most of the
But you
times.
offer.
That's just.
Once you've been out 10 times, they're like, this is how you do it. You're like, thanks.
Yeah. And my mates know how I like the boat to be clean now, but just the offering is like all I want kind of thing. That or overcooking their catch. It's like that's like what? Overcooked fish or overcooked crayfish or overcooked scallops is like, you're murdering it.
You ruined it.
You've gone and put the effort in so
and then
much.
expecting you to eat it and enjoy it, or just in general, like even if you don't have to touch it, or you just like you've ruined it.
Oh, yeah, just wasting all that effort, It's not really an ick, I'm just like, oh, damn it. So much potential.
I guess I mean, me and Elisa like joke around because we can have heaps of icks about each other because we've dived together heaps. But maybe after a day in the water, seeing me get or miss a bunch of snapper, you might have some icks to report back. So we'll see.
I thought you were going to bring up a new one for me, and I was getting
Elisa's getting excited.
getting all excited to see what I've done
we
now.
did recently just wait. Okay, I've got an ick.
Oh, go on.
So this is a hunting ick.
I might
it's
get
not even
feisty.
spearfishing related. It's
did
a
I do
hunting
something?
ick. So the cool thing about going hunting for me was because Elisa's not been hunting more than once or twice. So technically I
That was my first
became...
time. That
I
was
thought
my
you'd
first
shot a
time.
gun before. I thought you
I've
shot
shot
a
a
possum.
gun before. I've shot possums, but that's not hunting.
So
is it?
she shot it. Well, you've technically shot a gun. She shot a possum, but because it was her first deer stalk, I
here we go.
suddenly was in the scenario of like, oh, I'm more knowledgeable than Elisa about something for once. And my dad did the coaching.
Whatever.
But I'll tell you what my ick was. So when you go to shoot a deer and you're normally not sure if you've done a first good shot, you'd normally reload, maybe take a second shot, make no noise, you're looking for signs. She turns around after her first shot and goes, "That was fucking sick!" real loudly, jostles the gun around so she doesn't know where her first shot even went. It's starting to get dark and I'm like, well, she can't take a second shot now because she's moved the barrel. She's yelled loudly. It was fucking sick.
It was sick.
By that point,
So
my
much
dad,
power.
who's dead's just like, oh yeah. And I knew that my dad was just like, yeah, she's not going to take a second shot.
I didn't know you had to.
But I
didn't
couldn't
know
tell
that
her
you
this.
do second shots, and she goes, so you're gonna take a second shot or something?
You don't
And I
have
go,
to.
"Oh."
You don't have to, and I love you. But you asked for an ick, and my
Yeah.
ick is
Oh, okay.
someone yelling after their first shot.
I didn't know that.
Down
but
the gully,
Am
there
I
you go.
louder than the gun? Yeah,
Who
probably
knows?
actually.
That's just an example of an ick. It's all I could think of. You
To
encouraged me.
be fair, it was fucking sick.
And to be fair, when I probably shot lots of fish with my spear gun, instead of processing my fish or icking it, I'm probably talking about how great my fish is and did you see that shot? And Elisa's probably like, oh my gosh, icky it. So
like,
same.
Are you gonna kill your fish? No, yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Talking about like fish basically and other people overcooking their fish, and you're obviously a big fan of the culinary pursuits and preparations after. Is your favourite fish to hunt also your favourite fish to eat, or is that two different fish? If you had to pick one that's your favourite to hunt and one that's your favourite to eat, what would they be?
Definitely favourite to hunt is the snapper.
Yep.
And then favourite to eat. Man, the blue cod in the South Island is unreal.
Real?
Yeah,
Really?
it is unreal. They're so easy to shoot and they're just so tasty.
I look forward to eating one. I've never tried one yet. Yeah.
How'd you cook it?
Ingrid cooked it. I think she just did like normal fish and chips on the boat, I think it was. And but just like the texture of the flesh just melts away in your mouth. And nice chunky fillets if you can get them. They look like little, in the water, they kind of look like little blue-faced bulldogs.
Little old men, eh?
Yeah, like this underbite that comes up like that and they swim up to you. Yeah.
Do you reckon part of it, the appeal, is because you can't get them up here?
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, and you remember the flavour and you remember the experience and you remember the trip, so you almost build it up in your head that blue cod's real mean, but if you could
Yeah.
probably go get one on the
It's
weekend,
like all the
you might be like,
ask a
oh.
South Islander, they'll probably say that snapper's the best.
Yeah.
But yeah,
They're like everywhere in South Island, but then like up here you see them just every now and again.
yeah, 100%.
We did kind of ask you some food ones before, but if you were going to, I mean, we had some delicious tacos with your snapper, but if you were going to make like your ideal, favourite meal, or like you were together with your family and you wanted to have that kind of signature dish that you're proud of to prepare, like what kind of one would you go and get, and how would you prepare it if it was your chosen?
I would probably go and get a bunch of crays. I've got a few spots in the corrie that I would just go and take a couple from every spot. And then because you can feed so many people, probably try and bang a kingy.
Yeah.
And I like doing the loins, like I said, in
Yeah.
black and white sesame and then seared. That's
Yeah.
probably what I would serve up to my family for Christmas or something like. I have served that up to my family for Christmas.
Nice.
Okay, so it'll be, what time is Christmas?
What do you well, how do you prepare or do your craze? Because I've seen you do heaps of different craze, and it looks real mean. You've done different curries, but yeah, what would you do with your Christmas craze?
The go-to was just split in half with garlic butter. I remember a camping trip. Georgia and I, my wife, we were camping around the top of the Coromandel, going to all the different dock huts, and I was strictly only eating what I caught.
Nice.
And all I got was crayfish and like the odd snapper. So I ended up putting crayfish in a green curry, which was actually pretty mean. It was pretty good.
Far out. You know, you're living a bit of a luxurious life when you're like, oh, I'll just have my crayfish and a curry tonight.
Damn, no port on.
What shall I do with it? Goodness me. So, anytime you go out for a dive, have you got any dive day rituals?
I smash a coffee, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Like, I'm
Do you
terrible.
smash anything else after that? Or? So you legitimately have a morning coffee before a dive day?
Yeah.
There's a 50-50 on this, eh?
Yeah.
If that's
so
what
hard.
you always do, though, like, carry on with it, because you don't want to be diving with a headache, you know?
Yeah.
But then, at the same time, it's meant to make your heart rate faster, but you know what?
Yeah.
It's exciting.
I'm still trying to decide about this one because I normally drink one coffee a day anyway, and then when I dive, I don't. But heaps of people have told me that you should either just stick to what you always do or completely go off coffee and don't have coffee all the rest of the time. So
I've been doing that, but
Interesting.
then turns out I was talking to a neurologist and he said that coffee actually helps you concentrate if you are mildly, well, very ADD. And I was like, really?
Those kinds of things.
Yeah, he was like saying, you know, if you have ADHD, having you can use coffee as a way to concentrate and zone in. And I think that's what I've been doing forever. And then I stopped coffee for the last few months. And it's been great. I feel great. But now every now and again I'll just have one when I know I need to think. So I'm like, wow, my brain's gone. Anyway.
All right, swears by the coffee. All right, make sure here's a coffee. Make sure I offer to clean the boat.
Yeah.
And a shower beer after the dive.
Shower beers.
Shower beers. I did see that in one of your videos, actually.
Always important.
So good.
Yeah, that you
I guess
swear by a shower beer.
Yeah.
Problem when you have sea legs or seasick pills like me, you have like 2 gins and you're pretty much like asleep after drinking. So I have one of the yellow ones of these old Hyotsus. If you could go back to the beginner guy who got the spear gun brought for him for his 21st and give him a hot tip to help you with your spearfishing, what would it be? Go back and give little young Hucks some advice.
I would say to him, you're wasting your time. Nah. I would say go and find other Spearos and learn from them instead of just chipping away watching YouTube videos. And then, I would say find people that already do it.
Yeah. Oh, nice. It can be a little difficult. Like, it can be hard to find your crew, you know? So when we first came over, we had a little wee tour of your house and we saw your beautiful boat. But you also took us to your pool room and showed us one of your fancy new guns. Would you like to tell us about your weapon you got down there?
I just brought a Rife 110
Yes.
spear gun, and I've taken it out twice. Once, the first time we went around Kauai Island, we went to all the kingy hotspots, Flat Rock, Southern Pins, Māori Rock, Challenger, everywhere. We dove hard all day. And not one kingy, but we smashed a whole heap of kohiru.
Nice.
Still tasty treats.
Yeah.
The timber gun, yeah?
Yeah.
Is it teak or is it timber?
I have no
What it's made
idea.
of?
What kind of wood is it?
I have no idea.
Oh, yeah, sweet.
I thought it was teak, but I don't know anything. Maybe we'll have to research that.
Yeah, but like it feels amazing in the water. Like
Right.
Just a
compared
lot
to like,
lighter and a lot easier to manoeuvre around. would you say?
yeah, it's like it's weightless when you're holding the handle. Like the ballast is perfectly centered when it's in the water, and it like pivots through the middle. Like it's really easy.
Nice.
You can just grab it with your fingertips in the water instead of like an aluminium gun where you're kind of straining to hold the
Yeah.
tip up. Yeah,
Interesting.
So will you kind of stick with that as your main gun now?
I want to.
Even if it is a bit of a change, and like, does it shoot differently, higher, lower? Does it just hold differently? Mainly?
Definitely a little bit more comfortable in the grip than my old Weddy Viper. But no, so far I was able to hit koiru with it in the centre, so
What made you choose a timber gun over a carbon?
just wanted to try it.
Yeah, okay.
I watched Tim McDonald's YouTube videos and he swears by the rifle. I know he's sponsored by them, but
Yeah.
like he bangs a lot of fish, and yeah, just wanted to try a timber gun out.
Cool. Have you got any upcoming trips you're going to be taking it out on?
Well, I'll
Adventures?
probably be using it in the comp with you, Laura, which
Hell
would be
yeah.
pretty cool.
I'm keen to see how it goes.
Yeah, my first comp. Yeah, which should be fun. But
Is that your first? This is going to be your first comp?
first ever competition.
Shit, yeah. Awesome.
That's why I'm standing you up, Elise.
We will see you at
Gotta
all
get this
the,
guy in there.
Yeah, we'll see you at all the future comps from now on. It's on.
And like I said, I haven't been to it, and it is different that it's just snapper, but the whole environment will be similar in terms of it. It's in a similar area to a lot of the up north ones. Port Valley always run a good comp. There's usually something social afterwards. You get to meet a few people, and the way you go about a day, like getting in the water and just making decisions about what will you do next and how does it go. Like, I don't think any of that will be any different, but every comp is different because it's just another day in the water that you don't know what's going to come along. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, so that one, I believe, starts at like a certain time, like 7 a.m, and then you have to be back by like 4 to do the weigh-in. This is just a guess, but it's not in one certain zone, right? It's all like up around that area, so you can go out and come back by that time. Is that right?
Yeah, we're just reading the rules today, so what Elise is kind of referring to is that, like, sometimes we'll go to a comp and you'll turn up to the meeting on that morning and they'll say, hey guys, this is the zone we're diving, and they show you a map and all the boats go to one spot and start, and then they all finish in that spot. It's like a starting triangle, which I think this comp might have a wider area that you can cover.
Yeah, just go where you want.
And you just have to turn up to weigh in, so you can actually choose the areas you go to. So yeah, we have to read the fine print, but that makes it a little bit different, and it probably gives the local people a little bit of an advantage. But it also means, I think, because it's probably, I'm guessing, I don't know enough about this, but because it's snapper, I think it's probably so that people aren't as condensed, and that people are a little bit more spread out. And I think it said something like the areas like Bay of Islands to the edge of the Hen and Chicks or something like that.
Cool.
So yeah, it's all part of it, like learning to read the rules and then the weight requirements. And I know it says John Dory on there and snapper, so there's only 2 species that are on there. So normally you'd have your long list of maybe like 10 or 15 species in a normal comp.
Yeah, exciting.
So
I think you're gonna love it. I get real excited when people do their comps with this. I love it. That's
And it'll
very
be,
cool.
I just like getting comps, and I'll learn off you and we'll see what happens and get a bit of
I think
training
it'll
in
be
before.
the other way around. I think I'll be learning off you, Laura, because you're the veteran here.
Yeah,
Technically
You're
you'll
the
be
same.
learning off Elise then, because
No,
whatever I do is Elise's
I'm not
training.
there. I'm going to be on a boat. I'm going to be out at the Hen and Chicks as well, but doing different things.
But yeah, sometimes you can get on boats with other people and sort of ask them where they're going to go and how it's all going to go and figure it out. But yeah, that'll be cool. I'm
Yeah.
excited about it.
Well, may you have a wonderful time. And thank you so much, Hux, for having us and cooking a mean feed. And thank you, Georgia, for our beautiful margaritas.
Sound a little bit sloshy at the start there, so they're obviously got a magic mix. It's a school night too, goodness.
Yeah, thanks.
But
man.
hopefully we can organise a bit of a mission with the 3 of us anyway, or 4 of us out and go and enjoy a day on the water in George together. But
Have you got
until
anything
then-
else you want to add?
No, I just want to thank you guys for coming over, and I really appreciate what you're doing for like the spearfishing and diving community, because it's certainly nice to put on one of your podcasts while I'm driving. Like, quite often driving back to the Coromandel, it's an hour and a half from here to Coromandel, and they're usually like perfect.
Oh, man.
So just really want to thank you guys for all that.
Oh, we appreciate hearing from people that actually enjoy it and benefit hearing from all the different people we talk to. And we know that, like, we 100% know that people are going to listen to your episode and do the same and be stoked to hear from someone and hear what you're all about and why you love the water. So, yeah.
Yeah, appreciate it, man. Thank you so much.
outro. A wee shout out to you, all of our listeners. We so appreciate your time, earholes, and the feedback you are giving us about our guests and episodes. We both have busy lives with full-time jobs, loved ones, and enjoy our own diving, but we really enjoy finding the time to chat to people about spearing and using our energy to bring you Spearo Diaries. We currently don't have any official podcast sponsors, but are looking for ways to help us cover our podcast costs and purchase some proper recording gear. So if anyone out there listening is keen to support us in any way, please get in touch on our spearodiaries@gmail.com account so we can up our podcast game. And until next time,